Cragsy mentioned drums and learning. Everybody should realize we were from Hartlepool. We never learned this stuff, and it was basically looking over somebody's shoulder, and also talking to the musician. What do you want? How do you do it? And setting this stuff up. And Dave Usher, Armada, he was the first guy I worked with and never did a gig. You just rehearsed all the time, and I learned how to set the drums up. So, yet again, back in the States, when I had my first gig with the Average White Band in Minnesota with Guess Who, I was literally shitting myself. And in a 20,000, 30,000 stadium, I set his drum kit up, and they're like, okay, good, everything's good. And Steve Ferrone and I were stood, and I went, and he hadn't even gotten beyond the drum kit and tried it, And Ferrone was like, yeah, it looks okay, I'll make the adjustments when I get up there, I went, yeah, okay, you can move it. So they were moving that out so they could bring in the big production, which was Guess Who. The fucking forklift goes in, picks the fucking drum kit up, and the whole fucking drum kit fell apart. Ferrone went, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that looks really fucking good, But the other drum situation was Steve from Poco, and the Reef Martin said, will you please help me out? There was no gigging that week. And he goes, oh, Steve likes to smoke and this, that, and the other. So I was like, oh, I'll bring some of my stuff, So I pick him up at the airport. And I went, oh, I heard you like to smoke. He goes, yeah. I said, try this. So he had 2 hits. He went, it's fucking shite, mate. Here, try this. Oh. So he got his batch out, So we're smoking it, and I'm like, by the time I get to the hotel, I have no idea who I am, what I'm supposed to be doing. I know what the fuck I'm with, So I drop him off. He goes, okay, Wilko, I'll see you at the studio tomorrow at such and such. I don't need you anymore. So the studio, the first thing he does, hey, Wilko, I said, I don't smoke. I do not smoke when I'm working. And I'm trying to be nice, so I had a hit. I literally set the bass drum up backwards. He looked at me, he goes, how long have you been doing this, Wilkie? I'm going, oh, fucking on, the Average White Band tour manager. He goes, oh, well, you don't do drums much then. And I look at it and I went, and we just both started laughing our heads off. Right. He just did everything himself. Yeah. It was the easiest money I ever made, But I never got that stoned. No, I couldn't do it. I can't work getting high. I just can't do it. I've got to get everybody in bed, then I can just relax. And, when I first did the States, as soon as the band was on, Average White Band was on stage, I'll be backstage, I go, okay, I'll have a little whiskey or a little vodka or something and just chill out for a minute, then, okay, back on stage, make sure everything's okay, But it was funny how you just balance things out,
Yeah. That was like, almost like you weren't expected to be using stuff, but it was just so freely available. It was very hard. Yeah. My first tour, I was really nervous about getting spiked. You were talking about that bloke spiking people. I opened all my own drinks. I was totally paranoid. But nothing ever happened. But that was something I didn't really fancy being in some strange place, and all of a sudden you start tripping. So I was probably pretty well behaved.
Yeah. Well, remember that time in Joshua Tree?
Yeah. Oh, God,
if anybody knows what Joshua Tree is about, this is Wilko, by the way. We used to go there all the time, on weekends and stuff. And I drove up with the tour accountant. No, the accountant of this certain band I worked for. And
John Mitchell, was it?
No. And anyway, we get there, and Granny and I actually went out and played. We all went out for dinner. Then Granny, he was with his girlfriend, and I was with another girl from Sweden. And went bowling.
Bowling, I remember that.
So as soon as you get back, there was like a little area that everybody used to meet up for making the tea, the coffee, and having a sandwich or whatever. And this accountant goes, you want a toot? I went, yeah, I'll have a toot.
Oh, that was that Charlie from Hawaii.
Yeah, Charlie. Anyway, I had a hit, and I was like, I had a big jumpsuit on. And I was like, wow, that's weird. And I opened up the jumpsuit, and I opened up and looked inside. I could see my bones. I was like, I've zipped it up. I knew exactly what went on. I went, that mother effer has fucking spiked me. I'm right in the middle of a bad trip. And everybody was tripping around me. It was, I ran up to Granny, remember? Call the cops. I'm freaking out. Get me out. And Bruce McCaskill's going, It's okay, Wilko.
Too high, too soon.
Yeah, I'm going. He goes, calm down. I was like, get me the fucking cops. Get me out of here.
But I don't know, because you were tripping, I somehow didn't get spiked. I was with Ingrid, and I said, Ingrid, can you please... I went for a walk. I was starting to panic, thinking I'm going to start tripping, and I wasn't ready for it. And I was in American acid. I'm thinking, this is not like baby stuff we did in London. And I was really waiting for it to hit. I was eating oranges, including the skins, because I'd heard somewhere that would keep you... Anyway, I obviously didn't get spiked. Right. But I remember being in a room with you and a lot of other people, and the lighting director, John Norbert. Well, he was fucking around. He got pally. He ended up being like with the Hells Angels. He was a little bit of a bad boy. And him and that accountant were going around kind of intimidating people.
Yeah.
It was very primeval. And everybody's in this room, and everybody suddenly, except me, because I wasn't tripping, started shivering and teeth chattering.
Right.
It's cold. And it was those two fuckers were outside the room, kind of fucking around with knives. And I remember... And then I have a picture of you sitting by the swimming pool the next day in that jumpsuit, and you look like a survivor of a fucking death march.
I'll tell you.
It was a hell of a night. I was shitting bricks all night that I was going to get spiked.
What was going on? I mean, every room was different. You go to Bruce's room, and it was a party room.
Yep.
And every time John Norbert and Charlie came to my room, I could see the smoke coming out.
The dry ice kind of effect,
Yeah. So finally I had enough in me to just open the door. And I looked at Charlie and I went, when I come down off this, I am going to fucking kill you. And he looked at me and went, yeah. And John Norbert knew me and he goes, I think you should leave because he will. I went, I'm John. I'm going to fuck you up so bad. I don't care how fucking big you are. I am going to finish my trip. When I come off it, you both are fucking dead. And slammed the door in the face. And sat there in a fucking cooler for the rest of the night, you know.
That Charlie was an a-hole.
Oh,
I remember we were walking around, scrambling around the rocks at Joshua Tree. Beautiful desert, high desert thing with the Joshua Tree, a cactus and the rocks. It was all very existential Californian. But this little fucker, he was trying to wind Ingrid up against me. I was ready to push a rock off him. I was up on this cliff down watching him, and he was kind of like talking about me to her. He was just being a dick. And I thought, I could just push this fucking rock. I was ready to... And that night, that's when he did all of those angles.
By the way, he was gone the next day. Because he looked at me and goes, I've got a gun. I went, you're going to fucking need it. And I said, you're going to need it. I said, I am going to rip your fucking head off for doing what you did to me and all of my friends.
That's right.
I said, you are a dead man walking. I said, so you better get fucking ready for the Wilko fucking onslaught.
Wilko shuffle.
Oh, man. And John Norbert was looking at me. I went, you work for me, you motherfucker. I said, and I'm going to rip your fucking eyeballs out and skull fuck you. I mean, I was just like...
I didn't like all that.
Oh, no. But, you know, I don't remember the Ingrid's friend's name. She was a really nice girl. And anyway,
she got deported for prostitution.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. That's what I said. She's a nice girl.
Yeah. Angie.
And anyway, she was looking at me and she was talking in that accent. I'm going, and I remember coming to you going, if you don't get her out of my room, I will fucking kill her. I will. It was like Mickey Mouse talking. Yeah. I'm going, you know, when you're on a fucking acid trip, you know. Yeah. And you were going, just give it a shag. I went, shag, I can't do anything. Get out of here. What are you talking about? You know. She was like, but I just want to get high like you, Wilko. And it's like, fuck off. Oh, it's fucking, that was murder. Absolute murder.